Vaisheshika is significant among Indian philosophies because of its naturalist approach. Naturalism is the idea or theory that everything arises from natural properties and causes, and as a result, all knowledge can be examined with scientific investigation. Ayurveda is largely naturalist as well, but it's not exclusively naturalist. Vaisheshika was established by Kannada in the 2nd to 3rd century CE. The word Vaisheshika translates to particular, and Vaisheshika specifies the particular aspects of concrete reality, which Ayurveda borrows heavily from. The advocates of Vaisheshika believed knowledge was obtained through observation logic and critical thinking. Vaisheshika goes hand in hand with Nyaya because they're both investigating the truth and proving what is real. They're both schools of thought that take a scientific approach. Well, in Vaisheshika, there's outlined 6 categories of existence called the Padarthas, and that is Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha, and Samavaya. And these you'll notice Dravya, Guna, and Karma are all heavily a part of Ayurveda. And really, all these concepts are in Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is borrowing heavily from Vaisheshika's methods and tools. The Dravya, or the substances, consists of 9 causative substances. They're the elements, the soul, the mind, time, and direction. So the 5 elements, that's in Ayurveda. The mind is an important part of Ayurveda. Time, the way the doshas are affected by the seasons. For direction, we talk about how diseases move upward, downward, side to side in the body. If you have a vomiting disorder, your disease is moving upward. If you have a disorder like ulcerative colitis where you're bleeding out of the colon, that's downward moving. And lateral would be a rash, or circulatory would be a rash. Depression might be considered inward. So we have this idea that disease moves in a certain direction, and that is borrowed from Vaisheshika. In the second category of Padartha, the Gunas, there are 17 original Gunas in Vaisheshika, and then 7 were added later. And you can pause the slide and take a look at these. You'll notice a number of these are in Ayurveda as well. Vaisheshika supports the theory that the whole universe is made of atoms, and it bases that on physics rather than theology. But I want to mention that the atoms aren't tiny in Vaisheshika the way they are in Western science. They can be any size or configuration. Vaisheshika basically talks about the content in the universe, where Nyaya focuses on how to understand the content. As I mentioned, Ayurveda adopted all the causative factors. The mind is important in Ayurveda because it has such a heavy influence on lifestyle and behavior. Direction, we spoke about. Another concept related to direction is Vastu. Vastu Shastra is kind of like Feng Shui. It's the Feng Shui of India. Feng Shui refers to the arrangement of a home and objects in the home, etc., for the purposes of healing. And Vastu Shastra does the same in India. Like, for example, the sun comes up in the east, and the southern and in the northern hemisphere, the sun is slightly to the south, and so the south-facing slope is hot, sharp, and bright. But the northwest, where the sun sets in the west, and because the sun is to the south, the north side is slightly cooler. That's the best side of the house to let in fresh air, etc. Some of the Vastu Shastra theories are very practical and obvious, and others are more subtle, esoteric, and spiritual in nature. The middle of the home is considered to be ether, and it should be left empty. The northeast is the direction of water, so it's the best place for meditation, etc.